So let's talk about why did he have to redshirt and how
Yeah.
hard was it for him to have to sit out for an entire year? And I'm asking that just for some listeners who don't know what
Yeah.
it means to redshirt.
Yeah. So, of course, red shirt, you're not playing at all the entire year. Like, let's be very clear.
Hmm.
And look, I think it was a really tough decision. And it's funny because I remember, I will never forget this day. Mikal came home, and I think the coaches were like, look, that's Mama Bear. I don't want to piss her off. How about you kind of like pave the way for us? You go talk to Mama Bear so that when we get towards, she's a lot more calmer. Because, of course, we didn't know, like, it was a decision that was made, like, right at the start of the season. So when he was recruited and all of that, like it wasn't something that was talked about. So when Mikal came home, he's like, okay, mom, I need to talk to you about something serious. So of course I'm locked in. I'm like, what? I said, okay. I'm like, mom, like, you don't want to seem worried. You got that game face on. I said, okay, well, what's going on? He said, we've, here's how he started. We have made a decision to redshirt. And I automatically knew what that meant. I,
Of course.
very knew about sports. So I said, I think I was just like in shock for a few minutes. I didn't say anything. And he said, Mom, it will be okay. He said,
Mm.
this is a decision that I've made. I think it's right for me. I've spoken with my coaches, and it's what I need right now, Mom. It's okay. And I think that moment, I kind of, because, as a parent, Mikal, like I said, has always had this gift that he was better than most kids that he played with, like growing up. So, of course, I am used to seeing him play. Like,
Yeah.
there wasn't a time where he was on the bench and I didn't see him play because he was
Yeah.
always a cut above the rest. So,
Hmm.
when he was in playing in the smaller little leagues and intramural type leagues and then high school, like I'm used to him playing and playing majority of the time. So I had to put like my own wants that in the things that I kind of envisioned in my head of seeing him play, like
Yeah.
on the court. That was really tough. Like I will not lie and say it was something like I was just like, okay, let's just do it. Like I had to, like, I wanted to show my support to him,
Yeah.
to let him know that it's going to be okay because I didn't want to disappoint him. But I did say, okay, we're going to get through it. But I cried that night for sure, because I just was looking forward to seeing him play on a court. So it was definitely difficult hearing that he wasn't going to play for an entire year. So that was like part one, like acceptance.
Yeah.
So right away, I just said, okay, like we're in this together. I got you. You got this. Let's see what you need
Yeah.
to work on. So
Yeah.
like part one, acceptance. Part two was okay. He has to put the work in because Mikal was just smaller, right? And then he had a
Mm.
later birthday, so of course, he was 17 when he got to college, and he was just small, like skinnier guy. He needed
Yeah.
to bulk up. He was just too skinny. And when you think about playing at that level, you're playing against men
Yeah.
that are stronger and more physical. So he kind of took that time to work on being physically stronger and getting ready. But I definitely was on board, and it was something I was talking about earlier today. Funny that we're talking about this in terms of for me, I wanted to make sure that I showed Mikkel support. So guess what? Any of the Villanova moms would tell you I was at every single home game.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
knew for a fact that my son was never going to get it. It wasn't going to be one of those things like there's a blowout and there's like they're up 35 points and you can get
Surprise.
in and play. Like you can't play at all.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I kind of knew that, he wasn't going to play, but I wanted to let him know that there's someone in there that's showing up for you. So you know that I support you and got your back. So I went to every single home Villanova game and I went to most away games too. Like I wanted him to see me in those stands to let him know that I'm standing right there beside you and I got your back. And when you do get your opportunity to play, I'm going to be there for you the year you're not going to hit
Yep.
the floor and for many more years to come. So it's definitely a tough time, but it was needed for sure.
You know what? It's good that he came to you and, you know what I mean? Like he accepted it first
Yeah.
before bringing it to you. You know, I mean, it's a tough decision. I mean, my son had to redshirt too, but his is because he left school. He left Pitt in
Oh,
December, and then we changed schools in January. So you got to sit out. I think I took it harder from him than him. I was like, wait,
it's
the whole
hard.
three? Yeah, I was like 365 days, the whole 365. I asked a
I'm
thousand
not going to
questions
see you
about
play
this
at
red
all.
shirt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the thing is that UNLV, the school he ended up going to or switching to, they actually came to Canada on a road trip. So Cam
Oh,
had to
wow.
sit in his hometown where he grew up in Montreal, and then he actually grew up apart with his dad in Ottawa, and they went to both cities, and he had to sit out. So the gyms were packed. Everybody's coming to see him, but he couldn't play. He had to redshirt. So I mean, everybody knew, but still, it was just weird. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there like, oh my god, I can't believe like he
And you're
can't play.
used to seeing him play. So,
Are you kidding? Yeah. So I was like, what do you mean
uh,
he's not playing? So yeah, it's tough. But you know what? Like I said, it's good that Mikal understood his situation and my son knew his situation.
yeah.
He just said like, let's just get this year over with, and I
And
just
I'm getting,
want to start.
listen, the last, it was, Mikhail's such this humble kid. And I was going to mention too, when it was a very humbling experience too, because
Yeah.
he's used to playing, playing, playing. And I think that was just part of, it's just very humbling experience for him,
Yeah.
knowing that you
Yeah.
can't play, but you still have work to be done.
Absolutely.
But look, at the end of the day, I remember that last game of the season. He's like, "Game time now, mom. This is it. It's
Yep.
over now.
Yep.
It's on, up and onward and upward from here." And I was like, "Okay, I guess she was." And secretly, he probably was counting down those
Of
games.
course he was.
But man, after that, it was just, of course, exciting in terms of being able to physically play. But
Right. Right.
that redshirt year was a tough one for sure.
So
Which
what was it? Of course, of course. So what was it like for you to eventually see him hoop with the
yeah.
Wildcats?
It's funny because first of all, I'm a crybaby. Like I'm gonna try because I am a minimal. I wear minimal makeup, mascara, and lips. That's my thing. And I don't want to smear my mascara. I try to look cute for you today, so I don't want to cry. But seriously, when
Mm.
he suited up, it was just a different experience. Like, of course, he had a jersey, but he just couldn't play, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But when he suited up and he came out that locker room for the very first time,
Mm.
just seeing him hit the court, it was amazing. And I was legit like crying.
Mm.
Just seeing him bounce, like dribble the ball down the court and making his first shot, like all those things was just amazing. And then even it's a friend of mine was saying, like, I can't believe you still get so emotional about it. Like you're used to seeing this Hell's third year. But I remember like in college, every time he would come out and I would see, he was, by the way, I don't know if you know, he was 25 through high school, college, and now in the NBA. So he had that number
Yeah.
forever. And I just never forget, like, just seeing Bridges 25 on his jersey, running down the court, me seeing that on his back was pretty darn cool. And just a moment that I'll never forget. And every time he comes now and he hits the floor, and I'm seeing him guard like players that are known for being like the best in the league, like,
Mm.
Kawhi and LeBron, and he's guarding those different guys, guarding the best guys on the court each night. Like, that's amazing. And I still
Absolutely.
get choked up. I can't help myself.